has been another fascinating day at beautiful Ballyliffin, day 3 from the Dubai duty-free Irish Open, alongside Paul McGinley to reflect and look back. And Paul, for Rory McIlroy, it's been the week that hasn't quite been. Frustrations on the green as we show you some of his highlights from today. I guess this is the story. Great birdie opportunity at the opening hole, but then didn't quite keep the consistency. From this point, though, we were quite optimistic. Yeah, he's hit some good putts today. Made 4 birdies. This was one of them here in the first hole. Out early, obviously, a little bit of moisture in the ground, hoping to take advantage. This is for par on the second. Wasn't a B, so like you put one in the bank and then you spend money in the next hole, and that's difficult to kind of make ground in the leaders when you're making bogeys. He made 4 birdies and he made a few early on, but it's getting that momentum. You've talked so much about inspiration for Rory McIlroy. For you, is it just, it can turn in an instant? Yeah. People shouldn't be too concerned about this. No, I wouldn't be too concerned about it. I think the main thing is his game is good. When his game is good and he's given himself opportunities, then it's just a question of that mystical thing coming down. We've seen all through his career. Even when he was an amateur, he was never missed a consistency. And I think the problem is, because Tiger Woods set such a high consistent standard, we all match Rory against that standard. That's somewhat a bit unfair. I think his putting technically looks wonderfully good. I just don't think he's got it right yet in terms of confidence, and that comes back what we've seen with Rory. His confidence comes so quick. When it comes, it really flows very quickly, so expect him to go on a run very shortly, and if it doesn't happen this week, you know, expect it to happen in the Open in a few weeks' time. He's talked about Open preparation here this week, hasn't he? He's talked about getting the feel of links golf. Do you think whatever happens on Sunday and how he finishes, this hasn't been the week he wanted, but signs for you ahead of the Open Championship in a couple of weeks' time? The big sign for me is that, you know, he's never really performed well on a firm golf course. This week he has tee to green. He's played the shots. He's played some really good shots on the firm conditions. He's controlling well, giving himself lots of opportunities. Hasn't capitalised with the putter. I will be okay about that. I think the putting is going to come. I really do. I think technically it's in a good place. And if you look at overall his putting statistics, the whole season, they're actually quite good in relative terms for a guy who hits as many greens as he does. So I wouldn't be as perturbed about the fact that he's not. I know it's going to come, is what I'm saying, because that's what he's done. His whole career, he peaks and troughs. He does. Jon Rahm came in this week, world number 5, defending champion. Tough start to this week, but a good round yesterday. Got it going today, though, Paul, didn't he? Birdies at 1 and 3. This was for Eagle, and this was the Jon Rahm we wanted to see, round 3 of the Irish Open. Yeah, this was a tap-in birdie there on the 4th hole. Then he went on to the 5th, to par 3. Down the hill here, off his left, and another birdie there for John. So he came out of the blocks really quick. That was 4 birdies in the first 5 holes, and we thought he was going to do something special there. He slowed down the back 9, he finished with a streak of pars, a bit frustrated that he didn't do more. Then he was unfortunate, because then the wind dropped and the moisture came in, and then the scores in the afternoon was much better than he anticipated. So he's a bit further back from the leaders than he thought he would be when he finished. Paul, something you touch on when we've chatted, the mental engagement. What do you love about Jon Rahm's mental engagement? Pretty much every time he tees it up. It's typical of a young guy who's come on tour. Jordan Spieth, Rory McIlroy, their first few years on tour, they come on with all this huge ambition and that this hunger for titles and hunger for money and hunger for world ranking points and hunger to get on the ladder. And what we're seeing with Jon Rahm is that we're seeing that youthfulness, that exuberance, and it's common with a really talented guy when he gets a bit between his teeth and gets a bit of confidence to see him accelerating. So he's going through those world rankings at a first rate. I think he's the highest ranked European we have on the world rankings at the moment. And as I say, it's going to be a brave man in the next 18 months who bets against him, A, being number 1, and B, winning a major championship, because he's got all the prerequisites he needed to do that. Yep, so one man who's leading heading into Sunday, a man chasing a maiden victory on the European Tour, Erik Van Rooyen from South Africa. Like Jon Rahm, it was a blistering front 9, didn't quite keep it going on the back 9, but still, Paul, great performance, but he will feel all the pressure on Sunday with this big task ahead. Yeah, but look, it's a great place to be in. I mean, he was absolutely on fire, the front 9. That was the first hole, went in for a birdie. Second hole, again, off the rough on the right-hand side. Everything was going his way. This wasn't a particularly good tee shot, obviously coming from the rough, and it was a poor second shot. It was well left of the flag, but it got a very favourable bounce. The golfing gods were shining on him, and all of a sudden it kicked in sideways and in towards the flag, and it was going to be another birdie there for him. So things were rolling for him on the front 9, and he shot a 6 under par front 9. This was to shoot the 6 under his last hole. Every putt he looked at seemed to be going in, no matter what distance it was.
and that was a front 9 of 29. So with a 4-shot lead tomorrow, he's got a big challenge trying to win this title tomorrow. 4 shots is a little bit of an unnerving place to be, but it's a great place to be, but he's a lot of work to do to get over the line.
He does. Let's just remind you how the leaderboard looks then at the end of round 3, and make sure you can join us for our final round action. It is Van Rooyen, 14 under par, 66 today. Logan and Fox, the nearest challengers. Danny Willett continues his good run of form, 69 today, he's 5 back. Look out for Russell Knox, Lee Westwood's first page of that leaderboard as well. And there's John Rahm, 6 under par. So Sunday's final round action getting underway. Sky Sports Golf from midday. Hope you can join us Sunday here at the Irish Open.